Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of MILF marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Hearts and Stripes. Today, we have an amazing episode for you for this heart to heart, because as you know, this month we are talking all about work. Okay, we're going to dive right into it. This special guest, I'll give you a couple of hints before I let you know. She is the owner of Cocktails and Details, a luxury destination wedding planning and design firm. She's the founder and owner of the White Lounge. Maybe you'll hear a little bit more about that. She does business coaching. She's actually my coach and mentor, and she not only elevates your brand, but can elevate your team and your business. She is a speaker who inspires, entertains, and educates. You think that's it? It's not. She has an online course and a community to support you. And if you fall in love with the sound of her voice, you can check her out at her own podcast. She doesn't even go here. You know what? We're gonna, without further ado, first of her name, Mother of Dragons, lover of all things drag, the one and only Terrica. Terrica, say hey to everybody.
Oh my God, that was freaking phenomenal. I need you to do all of my intros forever.
I'm here for it.
Forever. That was amazing. Hey everybody, it's so amazing to be here with you, and I'm just so excited. And yeah, that intro got me pumped. I'm ready.
Yeah, we're here to do this. So I know Terrica. I want you all to get to know and fall in love with all that she does. And you'll find out why she's here speaking to our military marriage community. Her backstory was one that really inspired me, starting off in the wedding and events industry. And it was just a beautiful thing. I'll let her share more. Terrica, tell us about your marriage, your background, and your tie to military affiliation and the struggle.
Well, I come from a big military family. I did not serve. I did not get an opportunity to serve, but my father and my husband did, and and my sister did as well, and my brother-in-law. So it's such a beautiful thing to witness and to see. So it's something that I grew really loved and adored after my father got out of the military. He then went directly into law enforcement, as many do. And that was just a continuation of the honor and the valor that I got to see, instilled throughout all of my life in several different ways that also influenced me in the way that I deal with things as well. So when I had gotten married, my husband was out of the military and was going to work at the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center down in Brunswick, Georgia. And I was actually studying to become a lawyer at the time. And so you can imagine my parents' joy when I was like, hey guys, not going to be Johnny Cochran anymore. I'm going to be J-Lo,
Yeah.
Going to plan weddings now. Yeah, there was no joy whatsoever. I'm like 10,000% sure my mother wanted to send me a PayPal invoice for school. So moving down here was very different because this is not a military town, but the base where the training center is, it's very similar to one. So there is a big community of the instructors and the wives, and it was very odd because I was coming in and I was one of the younger ones, and I did not have an established career like some of the other wives did. So I kind of felt like the odd man out. But I knew that I wanted to do something. I decided that I was no longer going to pursue the path to becoming a criminal attorney, in part because I wanted to be a part of someone's life in a happier aspect. I did not want to. I knew that I couldn't really take away from my daughter who was born at the time. I was already schlepping her, in and out to classes and to the law library in her little infant carrier.
Yeah.
And I knew that in order for me to be an amazing criminal attorney, I would have to devote so much of my life to pursuit of justice and the pursuit of defense. And I could not take that away from her. So I decided, I love parties. I think they are amazing. And I always say, cocktails and details are the essentials of a fabulous party.
Absolutely.
So I've always, absolutely. So I've always been known to put together big events, and everybody's like, wow, everything you do is a production. And I said, you know what? I would really love to carry that to, you know, doing this for someone on the most important day of their lives, the joining of a family, the continuation of a love story, all of that. And it just so happens that when I moved to this area, people were saying, wow, was that planned? Because this is like one of the biggest wedding areas in Georgia. No clue what I was getting into. But the fact that I was coming here to an area that was pretty much prime for me to start a business was perfect for me. It was absolutely perfect for me. Now, granted, I have never had a wedding myself. So I did not have the ability to fall back. This is how weddings are supposed to go, etc. I just knew that I was great with logistics. I was great with creating experiences and really being a really good host and nurturing people. So that was my basis for wanting to pursue this particular area. And I just said, I'm just going to go for it. And it'll be 15 years ago in January. So I've had no other career. I've done nothing else. This has been, my gig. And to grow from something where literally you are like, Drake wasn't lying, like starting from the bottom, like
Right.
no experience,
Right.
nothing whatsoever, to, having a brand and people are like, no, we want you, we came down here for you. That blows my mind. I'm so humbled. I really am. I'm so humbled that I get to do that. And then expanding upon that with the White Lounge, taking it further by nurturing my local wedding community, my local wedding professional community, and bringing them together with different couples that may, consider having weddings in the area as a destination wedding spot. It's just an extension of that as well. So I am beyond blessed that I was able to really come to an area where I was just dropped, a fish out of water. I'm a northern girl. I'm a big city girl. And I came down here to this small town and I
Mm,
had, no clue,
right.
no clue whatsoever. And it was just like, it's like a culture shock down here. I come from two big Southern families, but I was raised in a big city up north. And it's just like you come down here and then you really have to readjust. And not only do you have to readjust your lifestyle, you have to readjust your family. And then on top of trying to, you know, build something
Mm-hmm.
that is your own identity and not formed within, your marriage or your role as a mother or your role as a, I felt like that was so important for me. But it's hard. It's very hard, but it can definitely be done. So I guess that's my
Yeah,
story.
let's
And
unpack
I
that
guess
because
I'm
there's a
sticking to
lot.
it.
There's a lot right
All
there
right.
that I would love to kind of unpack. So, for one, um, you met, married, did not have a wedding. So, look at that. How many of us can relate to that? I actually did end up having one, but how many? There are so many military spouses who have not. They just kind of was like, you know what? You're the one. I'm good with going to this courthouse and spending the rest of our
Mm-hmm.
life together to have this life, and they're good with that. They didn't need the big
Right.
shebang, but
Right.
it didn't hold you back from your calling because you do phenomenal events. And you should absolutely check
Thank
out her
you.
Instagram. I'll make sure I link that in the show notes. But in addition to that, you did something very similar to us PCSing going to a new location, new kid on the block syndrome,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody's trying to figure out where this city
Yes.
girl done came from down here in the South. I feel
Right.
that in my soul because that is exactly how I am here in Louisiana. And all too often we are starting over. Every time we move, you are starting from the
Absolutely.
bottom. So I loved your story and how inspiring and motivating that is, where we often think starting over means that you're losing something, as opposed to it being an opportunity for you to tap into something that you maybe didn't know was within you. So absolutely, absolutely love that.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you. I totally, and for me, it's really important because as women, we can get so lost. You know what I mean? We can
Mm-hmm.
get super lost in, again, our role as wives, our roles as mothers, as daughters, caretakers, or whatever. And that always goes to the forefront of everything else that we forget. We have this own identity where, you know, we are talented. We can do so many things that it just gets pushed to the background
Yes.
sometimes, and it is unfortunate. But I think in the proper environment, any flower can grow and anything can be nurtured, and it can just be totally
Yes.
amazing, no matter where
Yes.
you drop it, no matter where you drop it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? Actually, in a survey that I did on to our military spouses in the community, I asked what were some pain points, um, just with in their marriage. And surprisingly, I was surprised when we talk about marriage issues and military families, still employment and careers
Mm-hmm.
became one of the more prominent responses that I got. And I guess I'd never thought of it that way, but I can absolutely see how, if you only identify as wife, only identify as
Yep.
mom, and you have these creative passions within you, you feel like you can do more, and your purpose, can bring you further and you can contribute to the household finances. I could absolutely see how that could become a issue or sticking point in a marriage. So I love that you had the courage to, not just sit back. You felt called, and it was good timing for you to go ahead and jump out and start a career. And now looking back, you are a veteran in this thing, and you have,
That sounds so
yeah,
weird when people say that.
you
It
are
sounds so weird. It's like she's the OG. And I'm like,
correct.
wait, I'm not that old, but I am. So,
Right.
it is so, but it's an honor. You know what I mean? Because, and I'm pretty sure your listeners will identify this with this as well, because you see so many people who start something and they stop, that it's just like, girl, what are you doing this week? You were selling makeup last week, now you're doing this week. It's like it's a blessing that I have had the continuity and the
Right.
longevity that I have had. And I think it's just because so many people do not have an opportunity. Either they don't have the time or they don't have the support to really embrace what they're good at, what their magic is, what they're so powerful at, so that they feel like you were saying, they have to do something to contribute. So they just do so many things that they end up not being good at anything
Mm-hmm.
because they really put their magic on the back burner.
You
So yeah,
and you
I
said
am
it,
super blessed.
magic. Each and every one of you
Magic.
out there that are listening, I know you have magic within you. Terrica talks about this. Terrica, tell them how you can help them tap into their magic.
I really want to find out what people are so passionate about, because that's really important to me. And they always say, oh well, if you find something that you like to do, and you would do it for free, you'll never work a day in your life. Like, yeah, that's cute, but I have bills. I mean, that's just super cute.
Right.
However, comma, I do have bills. I have children that, have needs and have all types of things. But it's like, what lights you up? What ignites you? What makes you so excited about getting up? What makes you thrilled about creating and recreating and collaborating and all of that? And a lot of people, And I get a lot of people don't understand the wedding industry, and that's totally fine. But I think it's applicable to any industry or to any talent or any facet of any professional life, is that people always focus on the big part of it,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't really see that there are so many different intricate wheels of performance, of talent, and of skill that are still so important. You don't have to be the biggest name out there. You don't have to do the biggest thing that's out there, because quite honestly, that's not always going to be the thing that's going to bring you a lot of happiness or money.
Right.
So some people in the industry, for example, I'll say, are you great at design? Are you great at logistics? Are you great at nurturing people? This is your magic. What do people tell you that you are so great at? What do you feel at your core is just so innate to you to do? It's just second nature. It is just like breathing. It's like air. It's like water. That is your magic. That's something that has been given to you and instilled in you that cannot be taken away. Like, you couldn't even stop it if you want it to.
Yeah.
It's literally a part of your person. And I feel like if you can find a way to really hone in on that and get better at it every year, switch it up and do something different, and then get paid for it, baby, you are amazing.
Right.
You are
Right.
absolutely
That's it.
amazing, for sure.
Yeah, so I that is what tapping into that sweet spot is. That's why I absolutely love that you can show people how to elevate that brand, their brand, them as a brand. Maybe it's it, like you said, it applies to several different careers, and you have a book inside of you that in your you love to write. That
Hmm.
is your magic. I love how you break down, well, who are you writing to? Who is your audience? Who is
Yep.
your ideal person? What does she or he look like? Tapping into
Hmm.
those simple steps for any business. Maybe it's growing a team, maybe it's figuring out um those nuts and bolts, that profit margin. How can you make this thing truly work? Because you are the OG, you absolutely have a lot of resources to help figure this thing out. And I will absolutely say, everybody, listen up. Let me help you out in your marriage. If this is something that you feel within you is causing any conflict, you would be doing yourself a disservice if you did not at least look into what does it take for you to tap into your magic. Like, hands down,
Absolutely.
hands down,
Absolutely.
because you
Absolutely.
growing as a person is just as important as you growing together as a couple, and I would even argue maybe
Hmm.
even more important. So that's why I felt it was super important to have Terrica on here to speak about the coaching that she does. You see her experience um, from a PCS type situation, starting over from the ground, building everything up, and let me just make one thing clear. This is not like a fly by night success story. She
No.
absolutely has background to support and some stories. What is that? One snowy night by the fire. We
Yeah,
can talk
one
about
snowy
it.
night, but I'll tell you about it with a case of wine, one snowy night by the fire. That's right. That's
Right.
absolutely right.
So
Yes.
let's just cut to the chase, because everybody
Okay.
now is interested in tapping into their magic. How can they connect with you? How can they find out how they can improve their marriage through improving themselves and maybe even starting a business?
Well, I feel like two things are really critical. One is, I love this saying, is Dita Von Teese said this. She's like, you could be the most ripest, most juiciest peach in the world, and still you're going to run into somebody who hates peaches. And
Right.
I think that's super super true, that when you move around and you're dropped into this new location and you're trying to catch your bearings and figure out who you are in context of this new location and this new direction that your life is going in. It's going to be really important that you grasp the context that not everybody is going to like you, and they don't have to. And that's going to be okay. Not everybody's going to understand you. Not everybody is going to like what you do or be a fan of what you do. Those aren't your people, and that's totally fine. As
Right.
long as you can ascertain who your people are, those are the people that you need to be speaking to. So, and I think that I love throwing out all these quotes, but Mark Twain once said something like, a fish will think that it's an idiot if it's, judged by its ability to climb a tree. So I feel like that's the same way with business people and entrepreneurs. When they are talking to the wrong market and they're talking to the wrong customer, it feels like their business is a failure, and it's not. They're just a fish trying to climb a tree. So you have to make sure that you are talking to the right people who are going to be very receptive, very welcoming, and very supportive, and craving what it is that you do, and craving your magic. And then there is, another one that I really feel like is applicable to relationships, and not only marriages, but also in terms of one's relationship with themselves. It's like, I'm not looking for my better half, because I'm not half. As long as you
Yeah.
can understand that you are a whole person, and that you contribute so much to so many things individually, I feel like that's going to be super important. That's going to be super important, because, you hold so much value outside, again, of your role. And that's going to be very important for anybody to embrace. So you asked how people can get in contact with me. Well, I am all over the place. I am allowed on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. And I am now allowed. You can find me at Cocktail Terrica. That's Terrica on all of those mediums. So Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. You can catch me there. And I do a lot of mini trainings in my Instagram stories. I try to post a lot. I try to take, I'm taking the word try out of my vocabulary. I do post a lot of inspirational and thought-provoking
That's
posts,
right.
because I hate fluff. If you want fluff, get a cotton candy machine or go play in the clouds. I have zero desire to do fluff. I always really, really work hard to bring value, and something that's going to cause people to think, even if it's just one nugget that's going to change the way that you handle emails, or handle the way that you take your calls, or you do whatever. Then I feel like I've done my job, as not only just as a coach, but also as a person, and as a business owner, because I'm not one of those people who is of the mind that I can't share with you because you're going to steal it. That is so stupid to me. And I feel
I
like
agree.
that has really caused our industry to become so stagnant, because everybody is so worried about being copied or being stolen from. And it's dumb. There is nothing new that has been done under the sun yet in weddings. Like, nobody's come out with something and they're like, oh my God, this is so groundbreaking. No,
Correct.
everybody's done it, at some point. So I feel like if we operate under that each one teach one mentality, then, we raise the bar. And if we raise the bar, then it means that clients have to work a little bit harder to understand us and to work with us, and to interact with us, and to appreciate our value, versus us having that crab in the bucket mentality, and really undercutting each other and underpricing to get this or whatever. So I really feel like it's super important for us to lift each other up, whether it's in the wedding industry, or if it's entrepreneurs as a whole. I think it's very crucial, because it's hard in these streets.
Yes.
It's hard.
Yes.
It is so very hard, and you need the support of people who know what's going on and what you're doing, because it's not like punching a clock and going in, to somebody else. Having your own business is a whole other animal. It's a whole other animal that a lot of people don't understand.
Exactly. So if you have any questions, if you feel like maybe wedding and events may be an area that you're interested in, you are a creativepreneur, please reach out to Terrica. She's always very responsive on all of these platforms. If you want to take a deeper dive, and that this industry is for you, we want you to run the world. You can find out from her how you can join that community as well. Terrica, thank you so much for being here, inspiring the people, sharing your story, and just reminding us that we need to put in the work to improve our own selves, our brands, and our businesses to make our marriages and our life fruitful and successful. So thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. Didn't you enjoy Terrica? I know I absolutely did. You know what time it is, though. It is time for everyone to EYS. That's right, earn your stripes. So what I want you to do, take out a pen and paper or follow the free download at the link on the show notes and write down what you think your magic is. Think about it. What is uniquely your own? What is your magic? What can you be doing that could potentially launch you into a business or a career? Okay, now that you've done that, I absolutely want to encourage you to take advantage of Terrica's Hustle and Glow Planner. That's right, not only can you tap into your magic, but she is offering for a limited time her Hustle and Glow Planner for a discounted rate. That link is also provided. Let's EYS, everyone. Earn your stripes. This podcast is sponsored by B. Carroll Events for wedding and event planning and design. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few and the proud that aim high and are forged by love. Born ready. We are Mill Marriage Strong.